Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Chiles Startz. I'm the owner of the Woodlands Art Gallery and Studios located in the Woodlands, Texas. And today we have our featured artist, Natalya Tarasova, and she is here with one of her pieces, her abstract pieces. And we look forward to sharing her story with you. Natalya, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, as you might have heard, she's got a little accent there. So, Natalya, please share with us your personal story, where you're from, and how you came to be here today.
I'm from Russia, as you probably already know. I'm from the Far East. It's called Sakhalin Island. It's a little above Japan, uh, just above Hokkaido. So it's a relatively small island, and we're surrounded by cold seas. We have very long winters and strong winds. That's why weather pretty much runs in my system, bad weather. So it came naturally here. Um, how I ended up here, I used to work for Exxon, and my husband works for Exxon, and that's how we met, and I ended up here.
I want to take a moment to read from her artist statement. It was so moving, and then to know that she's not an English is not her first language. I was just struck by how beautiful you expressed yourself. So bear with me while I read these few sentences. It created a wild, raw, and liberating feeling, a sense of renewal. It was refreshing but dangerous at the same time. Strong, powerful, and unpredictable. It had a purifying effect on your system and some sort of recharge. I was always attracted to it and never ever disrespected it. You can catch a wave if you dare. You can even attempt to break it, but you cannot compete with it. It will smash you. That is so powerful. And when I look at your paintings, and I just see the movement. It's incredible. I just, the more I look at it, the more inspired I get. So, how is it that, what was your evolution about your paintings? Did you do, the typical take art school or landscapes, portraiture, and
Um,
then this, or tell me about how you evolved.
to start with, uh, I don't have an artistic background academically or professionally. I believe I was born to be an artist. I always thought of myself as an artist, and I've kind of think of it in a way that I think you're differently wired as an artist. I think we always want food somewhere else, and that's how I feel about myself and pretty much about any creative person or personality. So how I moved to art is probably very ordinary in a way. I had my children, and I used to work for office, and actually my education is I'm a teacher of Japanese, which I never used in this country. That's why I don't remember it anymore. It's somewhere on the back of my brain. I don't have access to it, um, which is very sad. But I had, I didn't know what to do next. It looks like I've fulfilled this and this and these stages in my life, and I had to come up with something different. And I almost felt that it's the dead end. I didn't know what else to do. So I thought, well, since I always envisioned myself as an artist, I may give it a chance, I may give it a try. And at about the same time, Instagram kicked, and I happened to go there, and I happened to open this Pandora box, which gave me inspiration. And at the same time, you put one post, you have the feedback, you put another one, and you get to be the part of that network. And then you just don't see the way out of it because you're already in there. So, and that's how I felt. And another thing, when I look at a very beautiful work, I find myself trying to decode it. When it's a piece of art, I'm trying to decode it. I'm trying to understand which strokes an artist used, which media, which type of brushes, what was the algorithm in that work. And that is so captivating that it really caught me, and I cannot break through. I cannot break away.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's good.
So did I answer your question?
Well, so you just started with abstracts, is that right?
I used to, actually, I'm very meticulous, detailed oriented artist the way I used to be. I'm pretty good with pencil, and I used to work with pencil and ink, and I used to develop, I'm a very fantasy oriented artist. I still have so many fantasies and scenes in my brain that I want to put on paper. Very often they are emerging into each other. I really like to play with fusion a lot, and I really like when images kind of merge together. I like to play with that. One of my best works was, I call it a butterfly city. It's a very futuristic looking architecture that merges with butterflies on a black background. That's the type of works I used to do. And I may go back later to that style. Not yet, because I don't feel I'm still done with the sensation of a pure raw art. It just gives me something different. It charges me in a different way, and I'm not totally done with it yet. But it's not like I define myself just as an abstract artist and that's it. There is a way more in the system that.
Well, it just occurred to me, knowing where you grew up and how the weather is so inspiring to you, and then to learn about how your fantasy and merging. I think about ice melting. So maybe there's the coldness, and then all of a sudden it morphs into something else because the sun is shining on it, and it becomes another life form.
That may be part of it.
Yeah. Because see, I'm a creative, and so when you say certain words, then I start, thinking of those things as well.
Definitely, that may be a part of it. And actually, since you mentioned that, one of my very latest inspirations is the when winter meets spring, and one of my paintings is actually called Sakura on the Snow. I just love that phenomenon when beautiful flower that just opened meets with the snow. I think it's so beautiful and so inspiring, and I see a beauty in it. And it's also very Japanese philosophy. And I've mentioned that I live so close to Japan that I'm affected by that country as well, and their culture and their perception of beauty.
I can just imagine the bulbs that are struggling under the cold, but yet they have to come out.
Yeah.
And in the sun.
Yes.
The sun is beckoning them, and they emerge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, so tell us about your next adventures.
When I was going to this interview, I was wondering if I should even mention that, because I know it's a very controversial subject. I've just started experimenting with AI art, and I know there is a very big movement among artists who are against that. They say, my kids, for example, say that it's not a pure form of art. They say it's not art at all, because since you're not having this brain to hand to brush coordination, then it's not even art. You're not creating anything. It's done by some algorithm. I'm not necessarily in agreement with that. I've tried it. I really jumped into that new field for a good 3 weeks. I played with it. It is highly addictive. I think as a society, we are facing a new problem, a new type of addiction further on. But I also find that it's extremely powerful, and the potential of it and the benefits of it, they're so promising, and they exceed any possible speed thousands of times, and they help us to realize and implement our craziest ideas in a matter of seconds. So it's definitely something very new, something we cannot disregard or ignore, and we cannot avoid it. It's already here.
Well, you know, it reminds me perhaps of the evolution of photography and
Yes,
art,
yes,
because there's photography and now there's a whole new field called digital art.
yeah, yeah.
And so that's where it starts as, it may start as a photograph,
Mm-hmm.
but it evolves into something else.
Yes, yes, exactly. I was thinking the same way. That's what
Mhm.
they used to say about photography. They said it's
Uh-huh.
not art. You're not doing
Exactly.
art. Now
Exactly.
they say it is art. And another thing, the way I think about it, I compare it to a movie director. I say, well, the movie director, he has actors, he has a light technician, he has sound technician, he has this and that, and a costume maker. He is not creating that movie with his hands, yet he is the movie director, and he is behind
and a symphony or you know, an orchestra,
yes,
you know, conductor.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, same thing. You conduct the orchestra,
Right.
yeah.
But somebody has created
Mhm.
the piece,
Yes,
the script, the symphony, or
that's
whatever.
I feel about it in
Uh-huh.
the same manner.
Right.
That's
Right.
mhm.
Interesting. Yes,
Mhm.
we have an artist that we will be featuring next year who is going to be using AI.
I'm curious to look at that works.
Yes.
They're probably fascinating.
So the last question I'm going to ask you, Natalya,
Mhm.
is: do you have any tips to other artists, whether they're emerging artists or people that you've met in the past? What would you like to say to?
I don't think I'm not sure if I'm going to be a very good advice given person. I think it really depends. First of all, it depends if you define yourself as an artist or if this is a business, because it's very different. The strategies are different. If you take it as a business, you have to define your brand, you have to narrow down your line, you know, your product has to be very narrowed, and you have to come up with something that defines you. Your product has to be different. So that's if you define it as a business. But then an artist, on the other hand, has to continuously break the rules and experiment and try something new. Otherwise, you don't evolve, you flatten out. So, and if I say something like that to people, just experiment, it's going to be, it may start to work against them. And that's why I'm not even sure I should give any advice. I think everyone is different. Um, you know what I mean?
I do, because I'm an artist myself,
Yeah.
and I've been told, well, you need to have a style, you need to have a recognizable brand,
Yes.
so that your work is always you've got a technique or you've got something that makes you you.
Mm-hmm.
And not like other people. And if you spread yourself too thin because you like this and that, and oh, let me try this and let me try that, then you dilute your brand and who you are representing to the art world.
Yes.
So that is kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. The thing is, though, in order to develop your brand, you have to try so many things. I think if you just start with the line that you determine right there in the beginning of your journey, and you say that's going to be my line and my product and my style, I don't think you really evolve naturally. And I don't think you really open up your true potential. You just flatten out. You just won't, you may not deliver that unique, beautiful product that you are born to deliver. But in order to get there, you have to make mistakes. So that's why my advice to an artist would be probably don't listen to my advices, because what I do, I don't necessarily pick the safest and predictable way. And I have the luxury to afford it. I thank God we are financially, uh, I, I don't have to make money. But if you do, then the strategy would be very different
Yeah.
here. It will be a business approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to tell us about you?
Well, I guess my strongest message to an artist, any artist, would be don't let anyone decide for you if you are an artist. You know better. Uh, it's something that we are born with, and sometimes I think even if you're never given an opportunity to hold a brush in your hand, you're still going to be an artist. It's just the way you are. It's not what you do. It's the way you are. Um, ex- the sensations that you have. You're always somewhere out there, and you have to consistently try to ground yourself to be in this current present world and coexist with it. So yeah, no one can tell you that you're not an artist.
Natalya, I just want to say thank you so much for being with us. I love talking with you, and I can't wait to see your new work. But in the meantime, she's exhibiting at the Woodlands Art Gallery and Studios in the Woodlands, Texas. And if you can't get to our cute little studio, then you can see her work on our website. And we hope you do. Thank you again.